Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Bitcoin market review for October the 17th, 2022. And as usual, before we get into the price action, we look at the economic calendar for yesterday. And we can see there was a high impact news event at 8:30. And if we look in the charts, we can see 8:30. It's quite a big candle. I have to admit, this high impact news event did not that much to price. Like if you look at this is the 8:30 candle. Like, it's not outrageously volatile or anything, so yeah, didn't do that much to price this news event. So yeah, not every high impact news event has to mess with price that much, but yeah, always have to be aware of them. And like generally what price did yesterday was first run this high, which it did in the morning. Then it went for this fair value gap over here on the 15-minute. Like from the drop on Friday, we see there is quite a big imbalance left right here. And yeah, price just moved in that, rebalanced all of that price action from this drop down. And then like it did that in the morning, and after like 10 a.m. it went into consolidation for the rest of the day. So yeah, nice morning price action. Like this up leg right here had some very nice price action, but then the consolidation was not that interesting. And it's also reflected in the setups. So there are setups in this up leg, but there are barely any setups in this consolidation. So I would say we get right into them. And the first one is again a early morning setup forming after 2 a.m. We had this push up in the early morning all the way to 2 a.m. and then price retraced a little bit, and then it pushed up once more, leaving behind leading to a market structure break. Actually, we can also use this high over here. It also breaks this, and as you can see, there's quite a big fair value gap in here. A nice big fair value gap. So if we now use the Fib tool from the low to the high, right, like this, we can see price drops back down, reprices the fair value gap, and drops all the way down to this down close candle. And if I put my cursor to the bottoms of these bodies, you can see this body is respected quite nicely, like so. So price drops back down, touches the order block, respects the order block, and then it pushes up, breaking this high, but not yet breaking this high. So we expect there is still liquidity to be taken there. Actually, I'm not sure. 19,318, 19,318, and this one is 19,318.05, and this is 19,318.28. So it did not yet break this, so we have pretty equal highs over here. So after this move up here, we still expect price to eventually run this high. So that's the first nice setup right here. And as you can see, price then dropped back down, touched this down candle right here, or moved into this down candle, consolidated here for a bit, and then eventually it broke and moved higher. But yeah, very nice setup in the morning. This 5-minute setup is very beautiful. As you can see, we have a clear shift in market structure, then a move down into a deep discount, repricing the fair value gap, touching the order block, and perfectly respecting the order block. So that's a very nice setup in the early morning at like 3:15 a.m. And this is exactly what we've seen, that like at 2-3 a.m. there's a setup forming for Bitcoin. So yeah, nice price action in the morning, and then as you can see, price starts to push up, take out these equal highs, and eventually go for this high on this push up. But we still have a consolidation prior to the push above this high right here. And in this consolidation we can find our next setup, and it's on the 3-minute. And right in here in this consolidation we can see price makes a lower high and a higher low right here, and then extends once more to break these highs right here, leading to a market structure shift, or it's more like a continuation of the uptrend. There is also a fair value gap right here, like this. And we draw out the fib tool from this low to this high right here. Excuse me. And we can see price drops back down, reprices the fair value gap, touches this down close candle right here, which is the order block, and then moves up, not yet breaking this high. And that's what we have here. We have consecutive entries right here. So we have this low, high, low is the first setup, and then this low to high again to this low, that's the second setup right here. But also for this setup I want to go to the 1-minute because it adds some confluence. And what we can see is price moved back down, touched this order block right here. So it's a different order block right there on the 1-minute. Like it touched that down candle right here, went into it a little bit, and then it shot off upwards. So that's the first setup. And as I said, now we have this next setup right next to it, sorry. And we use this low to this high right here. And again, you have to remember we have not yet broken this high, but we're very close. So these are high probability setups because we are very close to liquidity, but we have not yet taken it. So we expect it to run liquidity eventually. Quite a big fair value gap right here. Okay. Perfect. So what we can see is price drops back down, reprices the imbalance, drops into this down close candle, which is the order block right here, goes into it, then pushes away, and then it comes back down once more into the fair value gap, touches the order block once more prior to then really shooting off into the distance. And we can add some confluence to this, or we can look at the setup on the 1-minute right here, and we can see on the 1-minute pretty much the same picture, just that the order block is a little bit more refined right here. And yeah, we can see price drops back down into it. As you can see, the bodies of these candles respect the body of this candle right there. If I put my cursor to the bottom of this one right here, you can see nicely respects this candle, and then it moves up, comes back down into the fair value gap once more prior to then shooting off into the distance, or shooting off and breaking this high and running up all the way into this imbalance right here. Actually, let me show that to you in the 15-minute. So right here, that's where the setup is, and then we have the extension upwards, which ran into this fair value gap right here, just ever so slightly on this candle, but it did. It ran into it, and then it came back down once more, a little retracement, and actually this retracement is quite nice. Like if we still say we expect higher prices, which we kind of do, we only touched this imbalance right here. Actually, let me go to the 15 minutes so you can see it a little bit better. So we only touched this imbalance right here on this run up. On this run up, we just touched this imbalance. Actually, you can draw it out. And you can see if I really zoom in, we just actually, Now it's visible. This is the candle right here, and you can see it just touched it, but we expect it to fill the fair value gap, not just touch it. And so that's why this retracement right here is also a setup. And we pull out the fib tool from this low right here to this high, like so, and we can see on this fast move upwards there's a big fair value gap which was left behind. Price then drops back down into a discount, into the fair value gap, touches these down close candles right here. So it didn't touch this one, but it touched these consecutive down close candles, which most likely in the 15-minute is the order block. Yes, we can look at the trade on the 15-minute, or we can look at this on the 15-minute. We can see there is a down close candle right here, which price touches right here. This is the order block. We don't expect price to go through it. So what we have is price pushes up, leaves behind a big fair value gap. Price then comes back down into the fair value gap, into a discount, touching the 15-minute order block once, and then comes down, touches it twice, and then shoots off upwards. So nice and clean setup. And then as you can see, price eventually starts to push higher and fully reprice this imbalance. And in here there is a setup on the 1 minute, which I just want to show to you very quickly. It's not the best setup, but it's still a nice setup. So we can see we pushed up here into the fair value gap, came back down, consolidated a little bit here, and then we pushed up once more. Right here we then break this high. This is a market structure shift. So again, we look for longs and we expect price to as I said, fully fill the fair value gap. As we can see, there is also a fair value gap right here, and we use the fib tool from the low to the high. So from this low to this high, price then comes back down, touches the fair value gap in a discount, and then moves up higher. So this is just a quick setup on the 1 minute. As you can see, price moves up, drops down below the low of this candle into the fair value gap, and then it moves up higher. So that's just a quick setup on the 1 minute on the bottom of the bigger fair value gap, where we still expect price to fully fill it. So that's why this is a nice setup. And that's all the setups for the morning. And as I said, there were not that many setups during consolidation. More specifically, I did not find any good setups all the way until 6 p.m. So after 10 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m. I did not find any good setups. But as I said, we had a very nice price leg up in the morning, so consolidation afterwards can be expected. So that's not something unusual. But as you can see, price consolidates. Consolidation gets tighter and tighter right here, all the way until 6 p.m. And prior to 6 p.m. we have a little setup right here. We have a shift in market structure. Right here we have a fair value gap right here. And if we draw out the fib tool from the low to the high, we can see price comes back down, nicely fills the fair value gap. As you can see, the bodies of the candles respect the fair value gap, reprices this fair value gap in a discount, touches this down close candle, which is the order block, and then eventually moves up to take out these highs over here and this high over here, moving all the way into this up close candle right here, which is an order block. And this is just a short setup. It's just a quick setup in the evening in a consolidation. So even though price consolidates, you sometimes find good setups like this. So right here we have, as I said, the market structure shift. We have liquidity above these highs over here, so we expect price to run these. And it does so after repricing this fair value gap, touching the order block, and then it shot off. So yeah, that's also a nice setup on the 3-minute, and as I said, it was the only good setup I found after this morning price lag, so in this consolidation. But yeah, overall very nice price action. As I said, the morning price action in this price lag up was very clean, and also the setups I showed to you were very clean. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment if you have any suggestions. And yeah, I hope I see you guys again. I hope you're safe. Bye.